Hey guys, Megaton Menace here, back with another video. Once again joined by my friend Desir, and we're going to be doing RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 6, which means next week we'll be halfway through the volume, and after next week it's when it's going to go on like that 6-7 week break, so definitely going to be on, hopefully a lot of good shit happens in these next two episodes. That being said, so the thumbnail is Cinder and Emerald, and then based off of cliffhangers, I do think that they're going to give us something involving the River of Grimm and just like Yang's team doing something. And I also do really hope that now that Nora's been stabilized at Schnee Manor, that we can actually have Weiss and Whitley have a conversation about all the shit that's going on. But and then also, of course, just like I think that there's a good chance that we aren't gonna get any information about what happened to Penny last time until next episode. And I'm definitely curious to see when Salem finds out about Cinder ignoring her orders and how harshly she reacts to that. And then also, of course, Crow and Robin have still been in prison all volume, and what's the next step of Ironwood's plan at this point?
Probably some dumb shit.
Yeah, probably. He has been doing some dumb shit for most of the volume. Let's see. I think that that's all. You got anything else? Is there anything I'm forgetting?
No, I think that's a pretty solid breakdown.
Yeah. Oh, I guess another thing is that the Aesops are also kind of weird because both because Harry seems very devoted to Ironwood. Marrow seems like that if any of them was going to be like, no, this is wrong, I think it would be him. And the other two don't really have enough. We don't really know enough about them for me to think anything about that. So I'm definitely curious what they're going to do, if anything. And I also do think that if anything comes of like all those cameos from last episode, it probably won't be until the end of the volume and not next week. But who knows? So yeah, I guess without further ado, let's dive into the actual episode. And it is interesting too because I feel like that, like obviously they haven't truly had a big battle for Atlas or Mantle yet, and no one has died. But besides that, almost everything that's foreshadowed or implied in this intro has come to pass. And I don't remember if it was volume 6 or 7, but there definitely was a volume where the intro only foreshadowed the first half of the season, and everything in the second half was not even implied by the intro. And we've been flying through intro-related events quickly enough that it makes me feel like that might be the case for this volume as well.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, and definitely it's true. It's also true that with hindsight, you might see foreshadowing
Differently.
that you didn't see before.
That's true.
It's very possible. Like a great example is Ironwood on the chessboard.
Right.
Is it going to be more relevant than Ironwood is one of Ozpin's old pieces?
Right. Hard to say. And it's also one of those things where, depending on how big the battle they want this to be, like, it's like maybe episodes 8 through 14 or 9 through 14 will all just be like the battle. Just like how, like, almost the last 90 minutes, the last 4 episodes of Volume 3 was the Battle of Beacon, technically. So, like, that's also, I guess, another possibility. That it won't just be like 1 or 2 episodes for the big punch.
That's where we all expected the episode to start.
I mean, we did briefly see a little bit of this before, so it's not that surprising. But it makes sense that they'd finally give her some backstory.
People have been asking for this for a long time.
So it's good that it's happening, and hopefully it delivers. Is that?
I think that's Mantle.
Yeah,
It definitely looks like Mantle to me.
I think so too. And it's weird like that. For half a second, I thought that was Schnee Manor, but I was like, no, it's too small, and there's too many other things near it. But it definitely is some fancy shit. But she's just probably there to work as a slave. Or an indentured servant.
I like her young design. That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
I like the way that's done.
They did a good job at making her look different, but also making it clear that it's still her.
Yeah. Definitely. And that makes tons of sense.
Yeah.
She's probably, honestly,
the dishes are spotless.
with this known, she's probably the character who most closely resembles their actual fairy tale. Like,
Definitely
from what
up
we're
there.
seeing, like, this literally is Cinderella almost to a T.
Yeah, at least so far. I mean, obviously, like, except probably with a bad ending, because, like, sure, she's gonna get the
Now,
glass
hurry and
slipper,
lick
but
your
she's not
paws.
gonna get the prince.
Yeah, no, and it's not perfect to the story.
Right,
but what I'm
right.
saying is that she, to me, seems to be more directly related to Cinderella with this backstory than, say, Penny to Pinocchio.
Right.
Like,
And a
does
lot of-
Penny's arc really represent her saving Geppetto from the whale?
Not yet, but that's okay, because a lot of the backstories are metaphor, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I know. I don't have a problem with it being on the nose. I'm just saying that it is.
Right, right.
The silver, wash the clothes, and when you're finished, darn the socks, draw my bath, fetch my slippers, fill my glass.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's okay that it's on the nose, and if my expectations get subverted later in the episode, that's also fine.
The truth is that no one's ever loved you.
Was it clear to you who that dude was?
No.
Okay, cool. I was just making sure I'm not missing something.
As I think that he's probably the Prince Charming, except she's gonna see it and he's not.
You missed a spot.
Okay, bitches. Fire? Why did heat up?
I'm sure her semblance.
But her semblance is that glass shit though. I mean, maybe the mechanics of it are different than.
Wasn't very
Oh.
ladylike, was it?
That's what the necklace is. It's like
I
a shot collar.
suggest you remember your
It's
place.
pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Say it.
Without you, I am nothing.
But honestly, it's like she needs to have a super actually fucked up backstory to justify her being the way she is.
Inconvenience.
Yeah.
We'll help you look for it.
Oh, she took the sword.
Yeah.
Now, that's not yours, is it? I'm not here to hurt you.
Huh. Interesting weapon.
I've seen you around, and I think it's safe to say you're not getting the most fair treatment. Yeah?
Yeah, basically.
Really blame you for what you're thinking.
You don't know what
But hurting them isn't going to make your life any better.
This is true.
You could run, but you're gonna be running for the rest of your life. Or you could find another way to handle it.
Like you can do whatever you want. Go wherever you want.
I am enjoying this. That's a good
old are
backstory.
you?
Yeah.
Pretty well done, Rooster
Ten.
Teeth.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to
Like
see how
us.
it pans out, but
Yeah,
Huntress.
obviously.
Then we've got about 7 years.
For what?
Because that's
Train
how
you
long
for the
until you go
huntsman
off to
exam.
Huntress school. Because, like, Beacon and shit's college.
I wonder if this is a Salem recruit.
Maybe.
I mean, that would be kind of a twist, but he did just say that he's getting her ready for Huntsman College.
Yeah.
Now, is that just because he's Good Samaritan the bro? Or is that is there more to it than
I
that?
think it's more. I think that.
He just wanted to empower her.
And I think that he's gonna die,
Nah, I mean,
and that he's probably not related to Salem. And even if he is, though, he still will. Like he's like I don't see him being alive in the present day timeline.
no way. Especially not present day time.
Right.
But I still think it's fair to like question where his allegiances
It's
lie.
but it is hard though
it's
because like
interesting.
because Cinder's attitude now is fuck everyone. She might literally learn, oh, this dude I thought was legit wasn't legit, and then
Just a few more years.
and
you
then
will
maybe
be
she'd
guardian
kill him
television.
because of that, and then
You'll be
down the
free.
rabbit hole.
Mom, come
We
quick.
shall
We found something.
Yeah.
It's Cinder. She has a weapon.
Oh boy.
Hello? Anyone?
We do not serve funs. That's racist.
maybe just a little bit.
They attacked her and she killed him.
Right. Without you, I am nothing. But because of you, I am everything.
Savage.
Yeah. I thought she was just gonna stab her. She's like, what if I broke your neck instead?
I don't want
What's
to
he
run
gonna
now.
Hard to say.
All you'll ever do.
Yeah. Well, he's probably an actual huntsman, and is gonna be like, I gotta take you in because you murdered 3 people.
That's what it seemed to imply.
Considering the fact that, with the exception of the fall of Beacon, all that Cinder does is lose. Oh, that's neat. It would be kind of weird for her to be like, I'm gonna kill the guy who trained me after minimal training.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe her actual semblance, because we know it's glass related, but it might be like she can like melt down and reshape the glass, and that therefore it generates heat. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, heat and flame is definitely required in glass blowing.
Yeah, and also like his semblance looked like it was a coat of metal, but it could have been some other substance because like it could be glass, it could be carbon, it could be metal. It's just hard to tell because of, I wonder if she still has the scar on her neck. I don't think we've ever seen her neck that low in
You're
present
awake.
times.
I was so worried. How are you feeling?
You brought me back here.
Well, where else would you go?
We failed.
Cinder, you were hurt. I was just trying to help.
I think she's had enough help. Besides, she went against
Mercury
our
gets
queen.
dialogue? What's
Be
this?
careful who you back.
Cinder's hunch was right. If we'd had support, then maybe we would
Would
have.
you stop trying to protect her already? She doesn't care about you.
I know.
Both of you.
We all do.
Get out.
Go hang out with Ben 10,
I'll let
Emerald.
you
Go
know
hang out.
when you're needed next.
Yeah, about that. Salem's got other plans for me. I'm not gonna be taking orders from you anymore.
Oh?
She wants everyone on the
Interesting.
bridge. Something big is about to happen.
Cool. Are you going to give us any indication of what that something big is in this episode?
I'd like to
Maybe.
express again
Oh.
that this is my burden to
Okay.
bear,
Let's do this.
not yours.
Yeah, back to Oscar, I
His
guess.
grudge is with me.
Yeah.
It'll be even worse.
He's holding back with me. I can tell.
Yeah.
I understand. I do. But you've done so much already. The least I can do is give you a break and try to get us out of here.
It's the same body either way.
Can't leave yet. This is our chance.
Maybe you've taken one too many hits.
Salem. She knows she can't
Right?
take the whole world at once. So she doesn't. She has her followers work their way in,
Yeah.
sabotaging us from the inside out.
Maybe we should do the same. We certainly are similar.
Okay, so literally give her
Maybe
false
we have
information
been presented with an opportunity.
that will destroy her.
Or try and break up her crew. Like,
Right.
Please.
You don't need to fight this war, kid.
Okay.
Tell me what I need, and we can be done.
Hello, Hazel.
Coward! All this time, it could have been you, but you let him suffer. Now, tell us how this damn lamp works. The boy has suffered enough.
Why do you follow her?
right?
Yeah.
I know. I know how you see me. But her, look at what she does. How
Right?
is she the answer? Why not stop
Yeah,
her?
Hazel's definitely...
Salem can't be stopped.
If that's
She's
true,
a
why
force
she
of
need you?
nature. I've seen it firsthand. But you...
Yeah.
You send children to their deaths.
And she kills children that are
Cause
civilians.
No has no victory.
So,
No end.
who's
Someone
worse?
has to
Her!
try. Salem isn't a force of nature because Salem can be fought. Unless she brings the relics together. If that happens.
Everyone does.
You have wonderful timing. The show is about to begin.
And that's definitely something that only the two of them know.
Yeah. I mean, she probably hasn't told Tyrion, but he's the only one who probably would serve her regardless.
Right, he's the only one who would serve her if he knew. But he probably doesn't know. Because he also likes the gossip.
Yeah. And talk shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
We have good
It
news.
definitely seems like that she's getting ready to actually attack.
Tyrion has heard from our dear colleague Watts.
That the biggest threat in Atlas has been taken off the
Although
board?
he remains
Yeah.
in captivity, it seems that he has worked with Ironwood to gain some control over the puppet masquerading as the Winter Maiden. I suppose he remains
Yeah.
useful after all.
And also, like,
Speaking
because everyone knows that she's there now,
Cinder.
attacking before reinforcements show up would be better.
You
Oh,
chose
damn.
to disobey my specific instructions.
Yes.
Just to fail again. And I've realized it's all my fault. You fought your whole
It's like, I
life
gave you this grim arm so that I could shot collar you in a way where you couldn't get rid of it.
instead of
Yeah.
lifting you up. You deserve so much more than I've given you.
You know what's a pretty cool
Go
thing?
to Atlas.
Stockholm
Recover
syndrome.
Watts.
Right?
I need you to, girl. Whether you or my hound get to her first, you will finally have the Winter Maiden's power, and I will have my staff.
You'll only be helping her bring about the end for all of you.
Yeah.
You're too late.
Did the hack just not work?
Okay.
How do we even know we can trust
That
her?
applied
We
to
have
all new.
confirmed visual of her
Maybe.
A little bit.
Either that or just that, like, at this point, Cinder has been offered the olive branch, and therefore Cinder's gonna do the shit regardless of what Oscar
Ma'am?
says.
We're picking up an open comms broadcast.
Play it.
It's headed straight for Mantle. I repeat, a large, massive brim. is
Okay.
headed straight for Mantle. Please, anyone.
So Winter and the Aesops are gonna help with that shit.
Great.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Ain't that the truth?
Hear our message? It's right there. We need to hurry.
Where's Penny?
We don't
Are
know.
you serious right now? There are people in danger.
There are people in danger because you kids are acting selfish.
Shut up, Hair. Right out of the fucking ground, probably.
Oh boy.
It's gonna come out of their water pipes.
Barriers down. Well, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Oh, and that's right through the barrier, it looked like.
Yeah. Sent heat bugs out of the
And
river.
right in the Atlas.
So what are you gonna do now?
Now, okay.
James?
Yeah, it's like now we need to put our dicks away and do what needs to be done and realize that we should have done that. Oh, wow, there's a lot of grass in Atlas, more than I would have realized. Oh, fuck. That sucks for anyone that was below that.
It's time.
Oh.
See you next week, bitches!
Right, though?
Oh, wow, he's a lot faster than I thought. Zoom, zoom. Yeah, right? Oh, fuck. Why even bother the land? Like, why not just fly over the city? Oh, okay, that's why. That might have worked from above, but... Sure hope those reinforcements left, like, at the beginning of the season.
No, because
Yeah.
they left because they saw Ruby's
I know.
message last episode.
It's like they're gonna be too late, or they're gonna be in the middle of the shit when they get there. Also, like, new tech, because pretty sure that Ruby didn't have a line of dialogue in that episode.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, she was like she got a I'm on screen cameo, but unless
maybe in the very beginning, didn't it?
No, it started
with
right with Cinder. But that's fine. And like, yeah, I'm glad that we got that Cinder backstory, and it definitely makes it easier to understand and care about the character. And then obviously, it's good in quotes, to see Salem actually making her move. And of course, it definitely makes me wish that it's like, man, it would have been nice if Oscar and Osmond had come up with that plan that they came up with a little bit soon.
Yeah.
And it's hard because, like, he might have gotten through to Hazel just a little bit, maybe, but only time will tell.
Yeah, I really liked Hazel, and now I'm just kind of like, what an asshole. Because it's like, because he's so mad at his own sister's death, he's willing to kill other people's sisters?
Right, and that
Like,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, agreed. And it's crazy because, like, based on that ending, obviously a big focus of the next episode is going to be fighting. But here's what's interesting, though. Like, even if every episode is like 15 minutes of brand new content, we have 8 episodes left of the season. And I think it's very unlikely that the battle for Atlas is going to be 2 hours. I guess it's possible. So it definitely has me wonder, like, and if, like, how will the next episode end when we go into our month-long mid-season season cliffhanger? It's hard. Like, I feel like that we're definitely at a point now where predicting the details of the rest of the volume is pretty challenging.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that was a good episode for what it was, but what it was not moving the ball forward that much.
Right.
It's kind of like it's been building all this tension, and this episode with that final clip did push it over the precipice into, like, okay, the drama's officially started. but at the same time, it was more focused on developing Cinder. And one thing that I liked about it is that up until this episode, I don't think I had any hope for Cinder.
Agreed.
But this episode definitely changed that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked that. I liked the open options for the character to take different routes.
I very much so agree, because like Cinder has been one of my least favorite characters in all of RWBY for quite a long time. And I mean, technically that is still true, but I definitely do like her now more than I have in the past. However, it's also one of those things where like I just saw the episode. Like I need time to sit on the episode, and I need to see like what's next for Cinder before the opinion can really change. Because you can't. 15 minutes is not enough time to change the fact that she's sucked for the last 5 volumes.
Right. And hey, this just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, yeah.
But are we looking at a picture of Summer Rose?
No, it looks like a statue of RWBY to me.
A statue of RWBY?
Yeah. Or like made out of sand, or made out of whatever the same thing that the floor and the table is.
But doesn't that look like the belly of the whale?
Yes, but that's definitely RWBY.
I don't.
It's RWBY's costume, and from when we've seen Summer Rose, she did not look like that. Like, look at the boots. Like, those are RWBY's boots.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I think that Ruby and Summer are meant to look alike. All I know is that I'm seeing what looks like Ruby in white.
Right.
Which is Summer's colors.
It's like to me, like it's not white, it's like sand or clay color or bone colored, more so than it. And
but asking it, why would Salem have a statue of Ruby?
I don't think it's literal. To me, it looks like an unfinished 3D model of Ruby standing in a 2D artscape to make the shot more dynamic. Because sometimes when you draw stuff and you want it to have perspective, putting a pre-existing character model in it makes it easier. So that might just be why. And there was a lot of artistic shots in this outro, so it kind of fits with what was on screen the last 15 seconds.
Usually within the outro, they show like
concept
art and stuff like that. So
and that's what I think. Like I think that this is concept art for the location, and that Ruby's just there for some reason. I don't think it means anything. I mean, maybe it does, but
I was sitting there looking at it, trying to figure out, like, knowing full and well that was not a scene that was in the episode, and trying to break down every piece of it. And what I saw was the belly of the whale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like
white
that
Ruby Rose.
Because like that stone in the back, like that's what Cinder was sitting on when her flashback ended. So like this location was like we know that there isn't a statue of Ruby standing by that stool in the actual room in the whale, because we did see that room.
Right.
So let's see. I guess when it comes to hopes for the next episode, the most I can say is that I hope that all of our characters are able to not be petty now that shit is literally hitting the fan, and that literally like Ironwood, the Elysian military, Crow, the Happy Huntresses, Team RWBY, Team Juniper, they're all able to just be like, fight Salem's forces. Got it.
Got it. New plan.
Right.
Instead of infighting, what if we didn't do that? Exactly.
Like that's ultimately my biggest hope for the next episode, and really every episode going forward until Atlas falls or Salem's forces are repelled or whatever.
How do you think the Cinder backstory compares to like the Mercury or the Emerald backstory? Because they were comparably done, but I think the Cinder one was longer, better executed.
Yeah.
And more thoughtful.
I can actually agree with that. Like, I do think that the backstory we got for Cinder in this episode was better than the backstories that we got for Emerald and Mercury in Volume 3. But I also do still think that Mercury is one of those characters where, like, he's not really a character yet. Like he's been on the show for so long, but he's not really much of a character. So it's hard to even judge Mercury. But I definitely, even though I agree that Cinder's backstory was probably presented and displayed and written better than Emerald's, mostly because Emerald's was pretty short and brief, I still would say that Emerald is, to me, a better character just because she does have a lot more personality, and her motives, even though they're not the best, they make sense. And yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Honestly, it's crazy too because I feel like that Tyrion is the only one who needs the backstory now. Because, like, sure, we know that, like, he's crazy and that Salem is, like the only backstory we need for Tyrion, though, is how he met Salem and why he worships her as a goddess. Because we do already know about how he was, like, a serial killer and had mercenary days and shit like that.
Right.
But, yeah.
I think it'd also be, I mean, like, I agree with what you're saying in terms of we don't need it, but I think it would be kind of cool to see a flashback episode of Watts and Ironwood having creative disagreements before he dipped out. Like, basically what I'm saying is it's not necessary, but you could, and I'd be for it.
I see it, especially considering the fact that, like, if you gave us that episode, it's literally the type of thing where, like, that 10 or 15 or however many minute long flashback sequence, it's like you have Watts, you have Ironwood, you have Pietro, and depending on how much of the timeline they went through, maybe a little bit of, like, and then Penny was born at the end. So, like, it would be backstory and learning about multiple characters that we're already familiar with. So it actually definitely would be a pretty good use of screen time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd be here for it if they wanted to do that, even though it's not necessary.
And there's also a lot of things like that. Like, for example, obviously Summer Rose is still very much so an enigma. However, the other three members of Team Stark, we know who they are as people. Like, we don't know how we know nothing about Summer Rose, and we don't know how Tai Yang fights. But besides that, we basically know most of the numbers for Team Stark. But despite that, I would still be interested in a Team Stark flashback. Just because it would be nice to actually see him in action and get things more flushed out. But I also know that that can't happen until after they give us more information on Summer.
No, that's probably not happening until they decide to give us more information on Summer, because that's probably the tool that they will use to deliver that information.
Yeah, and it's funny too because, like, there's a couple things that were set up in Volume 7 that have already been delivered on in Volume 8, but Salem being like, I know the numbers on Summer Rose, and it did have to do with me, and it didn't have to do with Oz. Like, that was in Volume 7, and we haven't got to anything in Volume 8. Basically, if Summer Rose numbers do get sandwiched into this volume somewhere, I wouldn't be that surprised.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, any additional thoughts? Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think that's basically it. So, thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed the reaction to our discussion, and I hope that you enjoyed the fact that this episode of RWBY was colored by Burning Tractor.